What's up everybody, it's Blaze from FunBox here. Let's go ahead and implement all that stuff that we discussed in the previous video, in the theory section. I'm probably going to split this section up into maybe 3 videos, but we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for us to get things finished for now. Like I said before, we're going to be working with the manager as well as our parent unit. Now, as for the parent unit, the only thing that we're going to add for now is the turn finished variable. And we are going to default this to false. Okay, and that's pretty much it for this section. We don't need to do anything else. Let's actually, you know what? Before we get started, let's play our game and see what's going on here. So in the top corner we have our combat phase followed by our unit list, and then of course we have each of our units playing their idle animations down here, and they have their IDs, their health, as well as their speed printed above them. Now our goal for this section is when we left click anywhere in the scene, when we left click the selected unit, which we are going to cover in this section, and we're going to designate, but the currently selected unit will play their attack animation, and then up here in the top corner it will go from whoever's the currently selected unit to the next one in line. So for instance, in this case it will start at number 9, who is this guy down here, and then we'll go to 7, 8, and then finally 6, right? I made it a point to leave a section out, but just for future reference, think about what would happen if when we get to the next loop, let's say for example that each and every single one of our units has had a turn. What's going to happen if we try to check through each one of these units that we have? What happens, or what do we do if each and every single one of those units turns has already completed? Just think about that. But we will cover that towards the end of this particular section. But so for now, let's get some functionality working, some animations playing, and some turns being made. All right, let's get back into it. We've got our turn finished now. If we go into our manager and we go into our create event, which I have opened up here, we're going to add in one new variable, which is the global selected unit. I don't know why I wrote that with a capital T for selected, but let's designate the default value to this to no one. All right, the reason why we're going to set it to no one is because in the step event, in our start turn, down here, after we sort, this is where we're going to loop through our list of units, and we are going to choose the first, right? The first unit whose turn finished variable is false, right? So we're going to use a for loop for this. All right, so really quickly, we're going to start at 0, and as long as the variable I is less than the size of our unit list, we're going to increment. Now with each value, we're going to actually store the ID of the units into a temporary variable, into a local variable here. So we're going to do that with var inst, and of course we're going to say global. Now one thing I want to warn you guys about is the accessors for data structures in GMS. They're not all going to be the same. Because we are working with lists, I have the line here. If you're working with an array, you'll need the @mark. Grids and maps I don't think would work they can work in this situation, but I don't think there's any need for them. But each one of the data structure accessors is going to be different, so make sure you're using the right one. In any case, now that we have our instance stored in a variable, we're going to check to see if this variable, the turn finished variable, is false. So naturally we're going to write if, and in these brackets we're going to check to see if the inst.turn finished is false. And then on the inside, what we're going to do is we are going to take our global.selectedUnit and we are going to set it to the instance. Now, if I try playing this game now, we're going to run into a bit of an issue, right? So let me just demonstrate it for you guys now. Wait, I haven't made any changes to our manager. Instead of combat phase, what we're going to do is because we know we can control the phases, what we're going to do is we are going to type in global.selectedUnit. All right, so again, we're going to test the game and let's see what happens. All right, just as expected, we can see our selected unit is this top number here. And then we actually have the unit list. I will make it more readable for you guys. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Selected unit. Just to make it more readable for you guys. Our selected unit is actually the unit that's right at the bottom of the list. Why is that? Even though we're looking for, it should be, in this case, unit number 9, right? It should be this guy down here. But why is it picked 7? The reason is, actually, we haven't told this for loop to break out of it, right? We're just telling it to loop through however many units there are in the list, and naturally, because it comes to the end of the unit list, it's going to essentially be the last unit. So for us to be able to select the first unit, or rather the first unit that is available, because remember, it will come to a point where the actual first unit in our list has already finished their turn, and so we need to get the next one after them. The way to do that is just to add a simple keyword after we've set our selected unit, and that is break. Now what this does in this case is it will break out of this for loop, and then naturally it will continue on to the combat phase and then process and then check finish, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. So let's try playing the game now, and we can see now that our selected unit, just as expected, is the top unit here, which is number 8, and that makes sense here because he's got the highest speed as well. Yeah, it looks good. All right, so that's it for this section. In the next one, we'll actually put in the left mouse click, and that will control our animations, because I think the length of this video should be just enough. In any case, make sure that your sequences, let me just pull that up, make sure that your sequence has the attack animation at least, right? So if you haven't got any of the other animations, that's okay for now. Just make sure that you have an attack animation good to go. Anyway, that's all from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.